Momentum's a real thing, you know?
He's going to chase her out the Brooklynite.
That loud rail I got over there.
Yeah, one half-hearted, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a start. It's a start.
This is Brian's fourth WPT cash, his first final table. A very tough young pro.
You're from the West Coast, or
Yeah.
you gotta go, like, to your home casino?
Yeah, I'm the away team right now, you know? If this was LAPC, it'd be reversed, you know?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Action back on the chip leader, Asher.
He's very happy, Vince, because he got in this tournament by accident. He clicked the wrong button in an online tournament that he was playing, realized he was playing a satellite for this event. He won the seat, and here he is at the final table with a shot to win the tournament. Incredible.
And he releases that hand. Now Alexander, the Russian, has picked up a pair of tens. Gotta love that. And he's gonna make it 110,000 to go. Carlos out. Brian also folding. Now Ray,
Cool.
with a king nine of spades, will make this call.
This cost him another half bet out of the big blind.
Jack eight deuce. Ray hitting none of that, he checks.
And Alexander checks two tens.
That's surprising. Going to the turn, Jack pairs the board. Crazy Ray, what do you do? Gonna check again.
Alexander very confident his tens are the best hand now. Bets 200,000 and is going to take down the pot.
The 42-year-old out of Russia taking that pot.
Going for a second WPT title this season. Can he do it?
You know, winning isn't everything. Wait, what am I saying? Of course it is. And take it from these happy Club WPT members, from VIP packages to premium prizes, they have all one thing in common. They've really won.
I won on Club WPT.
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 I won a $12,000 package on Club WPT.
I won it online at home.
I won this awesome Fiat on Club WPT.
I won on Club WPT! What are you waiting for? Come join Club WPT.
There's 100,000 in cash and prizes up for grabs every month on ClubWPT.com, including a chance to win a VIP experience and play at a live WPT tournament. Sign up today at ClubWPT.com.
The real international flair to this final table right now.
A little bit, yeah.
The guys are chirping as 5 players remain at the WPT World Championship. Asher Kniff from Brooklyn, he's the chip leader with $4.8 million.
Asher in great shape, came to this final table in second chip position, is now the chip leader, but Carlos Mortensen came to the final table in sixth position, last place, and now sits in second chip position.
Okay, onto this hand, a quick fold by Brian and Ray. And now the chip leader with ace-7 of diamonds.
Going to make a button raise here of 105,000.
Alexander out, and Carlos Mortensen has picked up a very attractive ace-queen of spades.
Carlos is going to 3-bet with it up to 300,000.
Back on Asher.
He is going to 4-bet it here to 585,000. And Carlos says, you got to be kidding me. I finally got some chips, and this guy's going to 4-bet me. Well, Carlos going to make the call here with ace-queen of spade.
A heavy pot happening right now. Flop, it's a king-jack-6.
Well, Carlos does have a straight draw, but he's going to check. Will Asher fire again? Does he have the moxie to do it? He's got nothing on the flop, yet he bets 465,000.
Putting the pressure on the Matador.
It's a hand to go zone lane pre-flop, but I will see what he's having the turn.
Carlos, you're going to wish you'd have done that, my friend, because there's a good chance you're going to win that pot.
I may save my life, I guess.
I had the best hand, Carlos. I promise.
My hand was beautiful anyway. I don't like the king.
Tonight's episode is sponsored by Hublot, the official watch of the World Poker Tour.
Welcome back to the World Poker Tour. We are in Atlantic City at Borgata.
Chip leader Asher Kniff in command here with 5.5 million. 5 players left fighting it out for this title and nearly 1 million in cash.
It's on Asher. This time he has a jack 9 of clubs.
And he's going to raise under the gun with this hand, makes it 105,000 to go.
Alexander folds. Carlos Mortensen, the matador, with a pretty decent king-queen.
Well, Carlos lost the last pot by being outplayed when he had ace-queen of spade. He's not going to raise this one. He's just going to call. Wants to see a flop.
Brian Yoon with ace high out of L.A. folds the hand. Ray, smiling, gets out of their way too.
So again, Asher and Carlos going at it. Asher outplayed him the last hand to win it. Can he do it again?
Ace 4-3.
So he's going to check here. Surprise, no continuation bet there.
They both check. 9 of diamonds on the turn. That gives Asher a pair of 9s. He's going to check. That's 125,000.
And Carlos is betting here not to steal the pot. He's betting he thinks King Queen's the best hand because this guy hadn't bet the flop or the turn. Now, Asher's not buying that Carlos has got an ace because he didn't bet the flop. Thinks his 9s might be good. Indeed they are. He makes the call.
Carlos looking unhappy about that. 6 of diamonds on the river changes nothing.
Well, again, Asher checks, and let's see what Carlos is going to do here. He's going to check.
9.
He is going to be sick. He got outdrawn on the turn. It's just a case of Carlos not 3-betting before the flop and taking the lead. Cost him yet another pot.
The Brooklynite, everything happening for him right now. Kniff on a roll.
Sure. Sure.
Right.
All right, buddy.
Asher has his father and his friends here. They came in from New York to watch this spectacle. All right, he folds. Alexander also going to fold. Carlos Mortensen gets out of the way. Brian Yoon with ace deuce.
So the battle of the blinds here. Brian kind of limp in out of the small blind.
And Ray tickled pink about that. He's got jack 8 of diamonds. Says, okay, I can afford a no raise. Here comes the flop.
Well, now he has a flush draw. Brian's going to check bottom pair in a straight draw. Ray going to bet his flush draw 50,000.
Called by Brian. Here we go to the turn. It's an 8 of spades.
Nice card for Ray because now he's got top pair in a flush draw. Brian again checks. And this time Ray betting with more confidence. 100,000.
Brian's going to call this, going to the river. And it's a 7.
Puts a 4-card straight on the board, so both players are going to be a little bit leery about that card.
And Brian checks. Crazy Ray, going to do something crazy? No, checking as well.
Wisely checking in my mind. He's going to win the pot, but you've got a chance to get yourself check raised out of the pot if you bet on the river there. Can't get paid off with much, so Ray taking down that pot. The lone non-professional at the table. Vince, the guy is doing very well in this event.
Loves it. Love it.
Well, I'll tell you something. We've seen so many talented players in the field here at Borgata, including one player who has earned his seat in this event by being named the WPT Deep Stacks Player of the Year, Ryan Smith.
Ryan, congratulations to you. That's quite an honor.
Thank you, buddy. This week, we're in Atlantic City at the Borgata to present our WPT Deep Stacks Season 1 Player of the Year to Canada's very own Ryan Smith.
Oh, it feels great to win something.
He's a beast at the poker table, I'll tell you that right now. I watched him play. He's an absolute animal.
Poker, I love the competition. I love making mistakes. That's what drives me every day to keep going and get better.
The WPT Deep Stacks completes the WPT story. We offer a chance for everybody to play it for reasonable buy-ins, playing at a competitive level. And you can be assured that if you go to the event, you're going to have a high-quality experience.
The whole poker economy and ecology is all built on the regular players that frequent casinos and card rooms. These are the men and women that really support and move our industry forward.
The Deep Stacks, they're great events. They've pretty much nailed it, so that's why I try to make every event.
We are happy to be partnered with WPT Deep Stacks, and if you want to find out about playing in an upcoming tournament, log on to WPT.com for a complete schedule.
And now we go back to the action here at Borgata. Blinds are still 25 and 55 players competing for the first place prize of nearly $1 million tonight. Action going to Alexander Lakov. And he looks down at a pair of aces.
Now he is loving this. The Russian.
Makes it 110 to go. Carlos with a pair of fives right behind him. Calls. And now Brian Yoon with queen 10 of hearts. He's going to call as well.
Yeah, so 3 players in the pot so far. Back to the blinds.
Crazy Ray goes out.
Sorry, my fault.
Asher out as well.
So some interesting hands here. Aces, fives, queen 10 of hearts. Let's see what happens.
Flop ace 8 deuce with 2 clubs.
3 of a kind there for Alexander. He could hardly look.
Well, action's on him. Do you bet 3 aces or not here, Vince? Well, there's your answer. He does bet him. $225,000.
And they both go away. Couple clubs out there, so the Russian didn't want to get greedy. Took the pot down right there.
Yeah, there you see his friend and WPT champion Renat Bogdanov rooting his buddy on.
We've always been looking to evolve and change, and we're really excited about Borgata Festival Park. It's an outdoor concert venue, about 40,000 square feet, having some of the biggest names in entertainment. People are going to come out in their shorts and flip-flops and grab a beer and enjoy music and have a really good time.
I can tell you who's having a really good time here tonight. It's these 5 guys left, fighting it out for the title at nearly $1 million in cash. Asher Kniff well out in front with $5.7 million right now.
The blinds at 25-50. Let's go to the felt. Action on the Matador. Carlos Mortensen looks down at an ace-9.
That's the kind of hand that a lot of guys like to raise on. Under the gun, you're not crazy about it. You're just hoping to win the pot right here. Let's see what happens.
Makes it 110 to go. Brian Yoon, though, behind him with a pair of 9s.
Brian Yoon looking him up and down. When you look at one of the all-time greats, Vince, what are you looking for?
Maybe hundreds falling out of his wallet. I don't know.
All in.
Well, he's going all in, so whatever he was looking at, he said, I'm getting my chips in there.
Ray gets out of the way. Chip leader Asher not going to compete, and now Alexander out. So back on Mortensen.
All right, buddy.
Well, he can't stand that pressure.
Looked like you were going to call, like, let me make sure I have kings. Yeah.
Brian Yoon going to take that pot.
So Carlos had it going for a while at this table. Got lucky to double up against Tony Dunstan. Went up a little farther after that, but Vince, he's sort of in a downward spiral right now. Doesn't seem like he can get out of it at the moment. He's back in last place now with 5 players left. Sitting in 5th chip position, but don't count him out.
Okay, action on Yoon. He's got a nice little suited connector, 8-7 of clubs.
Yeah, it's one of those hands you love to see flops with. He's going to raise it. Makes it 110,000 to go.
Ray out, Asher out. And now Alexander, who has, oh wow, he has got a big one, pair of kings. And in addition to that great hand, he will also pick up $1,000 in his DraftKings account. He makes it 265 to go. Carlos, deflated, goes out. Back on Brian Yoon.
And it costs Brian another $155,000 to make the call. I know you want to see a flop with this hand, but you just haven't seen this Alexander guy making any moves without a hand. Do you really want to play 8-7? And there's your answer. You want to see a flop with it. Brian makes the call.
Going into investment territory. Let's see if he gets lucky with this flop. Here it is.
Ace, 4 deuce. And Vince, how many times does that happen when you pick up 2 kings?
Alexander disgusted. He's going to check. They both check. 3 on the turn.
Well, Alexander just not going to believe the guy's got an ace in his hand.
Alexander's going to bet 305. Brian hits nothing. Has to fold the hand.
Nice hand. To us. It was.
Yeah.
That's a good answer.
Rated. Big hand.
So the Russian, who started out as the chip leader, he has been stumbling around a bit, takes down this one.
Now Asher in command here, well out in front with 5.7 million in chips.
Winner's going to take home close to $1 million here tonight in beautiful Atlantic City at the gorgeous Borgata Hotel and Casino. Quick fold by Ray. Asher is going to raise to 105 with a 6-7.
No respect my button?
And Alexander will squeeze out a king-jack.
Well, what do you do now? You're in position. You're on the button. And you make the call with the king-jack.
Carlos folds his hand. Brian with another little suited connector.
I'd be shocked if he folds his hand. It's going to cost him another half bet or so, but you're getting a good price on your money to make this call, and he does so.
Three-way action. Here we go. It's a Jack 10-3. All clubs giving Brian Yoon a flush. And he's going to check it.
He's going to check with the intent to check raise, Vince, if anybody bets.
Alexander's hit top pair, jacks. Asher got 4 flushed.
And he's going to check.
Yeah, he's going to bet 200,000.
Anybody would bet top pair in that spot?
All in.
Wow.
Now Asher goes out. Now Alexander's got a problem. He doesn't have a club in his hand. He just has top pair. Virtually, he's going to have to hit 2 runners in a row to win this pot. Not completely dead, but just about. He makes the call, but he has put Brian on a drawing hand. That is big trouble for the Russian, Vince.
Good spot. Can't decide if you're going to get sweat or not on the turn.
I don't know.
I don't think
Do you
so.
want me to? I know you want to.
Yeah, but I don't want you to get scum, just sweat. I don't want you to lose.
I see. I appreciate that, Asher.
Yeah.
You're a true bro, man.
Vince, we've seen Alexander make some big laydowns at this final table. There's one that he should have made that he didn't make.
Let's go to the turn, Mike. It's over. 4 diamonds. So the UCLA grad Brian Yoon beating up the Russian on that hand.
Awesome.
5 players remain here on the World Poker Tour at Borgata, and we're coming right back.
What if there was a place where over $1 million in cash prizes and WPT entries were given away every year? Well, there is, and it's only a click away. Join clubwpt.com today and win a share of over $1 million every year.
Well, the beautiful Royal Flush girls having a monster of a time here at Borgata this week.
Oh, they were having a great time. There's never any rest for the Royal Flush girls. Great attitude. But right now we have 5 players battling for this championship, Mike.
Asher Kniff well out in front with 5.6 million. Wasn't even planning on playing in a satellite to get in this tournament, but he found out he was. He said, well, I'll just play it. Won the seat. Here he is, chip leader with 5 left.
Asher quickly folds. Alexander going out as well. Carlos Mortensen not going to play. So into Brian Yoon, who has a king 10 of clubs. Got to like it.
He just limps in and makes the call here.
Raise.
Ray Khartoumi, the non-pro at the table, is going to raise with a 7-3 offsuit.
That's why they call him Crazy Ray.
You just think, if this guy limped in, he must not have much. Let me try to just take this pot away with my junk hand right now, but didn't work. Brian called him.
And the flop is a 10-9-6. 10s for Yoon.
Brian's got top pair now, and he checks him, and Ray's got the gut shot straight draw. And he's going to bet 100,000.
Brian not going anywhere. Going to smoothly call it. And we are going to the turn. It's a 5 of clubs. I give a 4 flush to Brian as well.
He's got top pair in the flush draw and checks again, and oh man. Ray just spewing his chips right now.
Don't do it, Crazy Ray. Don't do it.
Yeah, he's done it. 250,000 to bet now. And nobody's going out with top pair and a flush draw here, including Brian. He makes the call.
Down to the river we go. It's a club. Brian Yoon hitting a flush and 3s for Ray.
He's got the flush fence. I just check it again. Hope the guy bet and then move in on him. Brian's doing just that. He quietly checks. Will Ray fire another shell? No.
Flush.
He waves a white flag, and wisely so. His opponent shows him the flush to take down the pot. So Ray Khartoumi tried to bluff at that pot.
Within.
Thanks.
Didn't work.
Nice hand, Mr. Yoon.
Thanks.
Ever since I said the word momentum to you, you've just been crushing.
Yeah. It's all because of you, Asher. I appreciate it, man. It's all because of you.
Just passing the heat around, you know?
And the antes are going up to 10,000. Blinds are now 30 and 60. Action back on Brian.
He looks down at the queen 4, opts to give it up.
And now Ray, who just took a little beating with ace-3 diamonds, will raise it. Asher from Brooklyn, 8-7 of spades, got a re-raise.
Well, that's what you can do when you're chip leader. You make these kind of moves with 8 high.
Alexander and Carlos get out. So back on Ray with ace-3 of diamonds. Makes the call. Ace-3 versus 8-7.
Now flop is 8-5-3. Raise flop bottom pair and checks. Asher now has the best hand. He has top pair. And he is going to bet 220,000. And Ray's going to make the call with bottom pair.
The wheels are starting to fall off Crazy Ray. Queen of clubs on the turn.
Well, neither player happy to see that because neither have a club in their hand. Ray checks, Asher checks right behind him.
River card.
Now 7 of clubs, so 4 clubs out there. Asher now has 2 pair. Ray checks.
I have no club.
Asher Kniff is doing it tonight, Vince. The biggest cash in his career is 203,000. He's going to top that tonight wherever he finishes. He said, I never dreamed I could be playing for close to $1 million where I had a shot to win it. Well, he does now.
Nice hand.
You're our biggest fan, man. I'm telling you.
Pure monster sound. You have to hear it to believe it.
Get yours today at monsterproducts.com/WPT. Enter code WPT25 to get your special discount.
We are at the WPT World Championship at Borgata in Atlantic City. Now, one man who has first-hand knowledge about this final table is our very own Tony Dunst. And he's with us now to give the lowdown on tonight's high rollers in the Raw Deal.
I was hoping that making this final table in successive years would be the lead story tonight. But Asher Kniff stole my thunder by going on an incredible heater here at Borgata.
Don't wake me up.
As you've already heard, Asher was never meant to be in this event, which is what I kept telling myself after he caught me bluffing on day 3.
It'd be a fun day.
But what are the makings of a heater? And why is Asher the guy having one? Let's break it down.
Everything happening for him right now. Kniff on a roll.
I just had a chance to see some of Asher's hole cards, and I don't think there's one revelatory hand that shows how great he's played or lucky he's been. Instead, there's a little of everything in here. He uses pot control, where continuation bets are unlikely to work. When he flops no equity with Jack-9 suited, Asher also doesn't try to win every pot in situations where he has weak equity. Notice that he doesn't keep firing against Brian Yoon when he's left with air on the turn. Asher selects good situations to attack the shorter stacks. First, by 4-betting ace-7 suited against Carlos Mortensen and firing the flop. Then by 3-betting Ray with 8-7 suited and getting some value post-flop. And even when Asher is getting lucky, he's making reasonable choices. We see him call a raise with pocket 8s.
Defend.
Then turn a set to draw out on the pocket jacks of Alexander Lakoff. Asher leads out on the turn because he knows it's a card that Alexander will often check back, and he wants the opportunity to get 3 streets of value on the runouts that are favorable to him. That's exactly what happens, and Asher gets paid off.
He takes the Knish and shoves it down the Russian's throat.
The only potential downside to a heater is becoming deluded into believing you're that much better than everyone else. But Asher is a hard-working grinder who's perfectly self-aware about his recent good fortune.
He said, I never dreamed I could be playing for close to $1 million where I had a shot to win it. Well, he does now.
Or as he's been saying all week, the heater is real.
Tough man to beat today.
Tough man to beat for about 2 weeks.
Tough man to beat for 2 weeks.
It's been 2 weeks like this.
Yeah, pretty incredible, Vince. He won the first tournament of this festival here at Borgata for over $200,000. Now he could win the last event for nearly $1 million.
26 years old, out of Brooklyn, New York. He calls himself a regular guy, just a normal grinder. But the dream of a lifetime is at stake here tonight. Asher has raised with 8-7 the clubs to 130.
Yeah, right under the gun.
The Russian and Carlos go out. Brian Yoon with a little suited connector. He won't play. And Crazy Ray has an ace-4.
Ray gonna call out of the big blind. So we're gonna have a flop here.
Check.
Flop 10-9-5.
Ray, he's gonna check, and Asher checks right behind him with the open-end straight draw.
Turn card. That gives Asher straight.
Check.
Ray's gonna check again. Everything working for this kid. He's gonna bet 135.
Hopes his opponent might have some of that. Doesn't happen.
Yeah, Crazy Ray has to give it up.
Another bluff, Asher?
No bluff there. You can go see it on camera. No bluff.
Looks it looks like really a bad one. A bad bluff.
No king queen?
No, but I had it. The hand was not being folded.
Jack
What was
something.
happening?
There's the beautiful Danielle, one of our Royal Flush girls, with the Hublot watch that our champion will get.
What a timepiece this is, Mike. Let's get back down to the table. Action on Carlos, who's been card dead for a long time, has to fold again. Brian Yoon going out.
Round to Ray.
All in.
He's going all in here with a Jack-9.
Just has to take a shot.
Come on, come on, come on, come on.
Let's see if Asher has a hand to call. Yes, he does. In fact, he goes over the top.
You sure?
Alrighty.
Yeah. I didn't see my card.
Asher has raised it to shut out the big blind. He just wants to play against the 400,000 that Ray Khartoumi has. Doesn't want to risk any more money than that.
Alexander goes out. They show the cards.
Just 2 over.
Good luck, my friend.
All right, buddy.
Crazy Ray from Houston, a non-professional in the granite business.
Jack.
He's not in that bad a shape. He's only a 3-2 underdog, but must win this pot to stay alive.
Jack-9, 8-7.
Otherwise, he'll be walking back to Houston.
Ray, can you get lucky? Not there. Queen 8-7 on the flop.
What is it? I don't know. What I need?
A 10, a 9, or a Jack, I think.
10, 9, Jack.
A 10 locks it up for him. A 9 or a Jack gives him the lead.
1 time, 10.
Can happy-go-lucky Ray catch? Let's take a look. It's an 8. Pairs the board. No.
No, we're down to the river.
9 would have been a fair turn, I'm going to be honest. A lot of stuff happening there, you know?
Ray needs a 9, 10, or a Jack. Otherwise, he'll be our 5th place finisher.
Things got crazy in here really fast.
Crazy Ray. It's all coming down to this last card. Ray always smiling. A good sport. 4 diamonds.
Well, the granite man hits the stone wall here at Borgata. He's a businessman from Spring, Texas, out tonight in 5th place.
You know, very likable guy, a wonderful poker player. He's going to take home $208,000, but it is back to the granite mine for him. Let's go see what he has to say.
Are you happy with this finish?
Yes, I am. I'm proud to be here today. This is my 2nd final table, but I love poker and it's my hobby, and I hope next final table, the 3rd one, will be 1st place.
All right, well, congratulations on this finish today.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
Thank you.
With that hand, we conclude our 2nd hour of coverage at the WPT World Championship here at Borgata. Please join us next time when we will crown the final champion of season 13. For Mike Sexton, Vince Van Patten, Tony Dunst, Matt Savage, the Royal Flush Girls, and everyone at the World Poker Tour, I'm Lynn Gilmartin. See you next time on the WPT.
Sweetheart.
I don't understand what this is for. The World Poker Tour is sponsored by ClubWPT.com. Never lose a dime playing poker, guaranteed.
A WPT World Champion will be crowned tonight here at Borgata.
Feel like $1 million.
Easy game.
Tonight at Borgata, our season ends with one final turn of a card. Good evening, everyone. I'm Lynn Gilmartin, and welcome to the conclusion of the WPT World Championship. With a $15,000 buy-in, this tournament is not for the faint of heart. And we've seen players giving it their all this week to claim the final title of Season 13 on the World Poker Tour. Joining me now to give us expert analysis are Mike Sexton and Vince Van Patten.
Well, Lynn, we are down to 4 players for this championship. We lost Tony Dunn's The Raw Deal. You know, he had some bad beats. He's gone. But then we also lost the very popular Ray Khartoumi, the Granite Man. He busted up into little pieces. Another great player gone. We are down to 4.
Well, the guy that's doing it right now is the 26-year-old from Brooklyn, Asher Kniff. He's the big chip leader at the moment, but he's going to have his hands full because on his left are 2 WPT champions, a Russian named Alexander Lakov, but what about a 3-time WPT champion, the old-time money winner on the World Poker Tour, Carlos Mortensen, is also at the table. This is going to be a great finish.
Cards are about to fly, so let's check the chip counts and get down to the table.
Well, this is the final event of Season 13 on the World Poker Tour. 4 guys left fighting it out for the title. There you see the skrill chip count. Asher Kniff from Brooklyn, well out in front with $6.8 million in chips. Brian Yoon from LA in second place with $3 million. Then Carlos Mortensen and the Russian Alexander Lakov.
And the winner's going to take home close to $1 million here tonight at Borgata. And he's at $10,000. Lines 30 and 60,000. Let's go to the felt. Action on Brian Yoon from Los Angeles. He's got a pretty good ace-10.
Well, Brian, the youngest player at the table with 25. He's going to raise it up to 130,000.
Asher, our chip leader from Brooklyn, folding. And now Alexander Lakov. He's got ace-6.
He won a WPT event earlier this season in Cyprus, going for his 2nd title this season.
And he's going to fold his ace-6. Carlos Mortensen, king-7 of clubs. He will speculate, makes the call. Let's go to the flop. It's a 9-9 deuce.
Now Carlos is going to check his king high. Brian checks behind him.
Surprising, going to the turn. Ooh. It's a 7.
Carlos is taking the lead with 9s and 7s here. And he is going to get the value bet in of $125,000. And Brian going to call him with the ace high, hoping it's the best hand, which right now it's not.
Down to the river, it's another 9. So now Carlos 9's full of 7s.
He's going to bet $200,000. Hope the guy pays him off. Will Brian put him on a full house? That's a question.
Hey, Sam.
And he must put him on a hand because he laid it down. Nice lay down there by Brian.
Carlos Mortensen, the Matador, going after his 4th WPT title ever.
Carlos Mortensen, the all-time money winner in the history of the World Poker Tour, with about $6.5 million coming into this tournament. That number is going to go up substantially.
Asher has raised with ace-4. The Russian has gone out. Carlos out as well. Brian Yoon with a suited connector, 6-7 of hearts. Does make this call.
You'd love to see a flop of those kind of hands. Flop king, queen, 5. No help to either player. Brian checks.
Asher.
Now he's going to make the continuation bet. $115,000, and it's going to get the job done. And what a story it is about Asher Kniff. Vince won an online satellite to get his seat into this tournament, but he did it by clicking the wrong button. He thought he was playing another tournament.
The hero Brooklyn needed, but not the one they deserve.
Not the one they deserve.
Could be fate for the young guy.
Hello, world. I'm a New Yorker, born and raised, Brooklyn boy, so came out here to chase the dream.
It's very surreal to make the final table. It kind of makes the last 4, 5, 6 years of my life feel like they were worth something, you know, like all of the grind, all of the struggle, all of the time I put into poker that I didn't put into other things, all finally feels like it was worth it.
If you win this, people know who you are. Everything you do from here is kind of cream on top. Like, if you can win this, it's a huge step in anyone's career.
It is definitely the best week of my life. It's amazing.
The best week. Best 2 weeks, Vince. He won the first event of this Borgata Festival, got a chance to win the last. With over $7 million in chips, he's in great position to do just that.
Chance of a lifetime for that young man. But action is on Alexander. He's 42 years old. Takes his time, but finally folds. And now Carlos with a queen, 3 of clubs, releases the hand.
So the battle of the blinds here. Brian Yoon with a queen deuce. He's just going to limp in and make the call.
And our chip leader, Asher, looks down at 2 kings.
And when you get pocket kings at the final table on the World Poker Tour, DraftKings puts $1,000 into your DraftKings account.
Well, he is going to raise it, of course, to 180. He makes Brian Yoon give it up. So everything going right for Asher Kniff.
Gary!
In a season filled with highlights, the WPT and the Tiger Woods Foundation have partnered up once again for Tiger's Poker Night, an exciting charity tournament that benefits a very worthwhile cause. Take a look. How fun is this?
Oh, it's incredible to have the guys all come back again. It adds validity to what we're trying to do and how we're trying to help kids.
Dealers, please shuffle up a deal.
Good time. Great charity. What a crowd. What a crowd. This is fun. We're here to support Tigers Foundation. It's Tiger Jam is my 3rd year, I think.
I knocked them out twice last year.
No, you did not. It's always been fun. It's always for a good cause.
The mission of the Tiger Woods Foundation is to provide educational opportunities for young people around the world.
Education is an incredibly powerful tool when it comes to success. And Tiger has a vision, and he thinks if we can bring education resources to kids, we can really improve their lives and really improve society with it.
I struggled when I was little. I had a speech impediment. I was stuttering pretty bad. I was always in the back of the class, never wanted to be called. That's one of the reasons why we have our foundation and after-school programs to help these kids.
I've had a little bit of trouble in the first semester of college. They helped me and gave me advice, so it's a great support base.
The program has definitely helped me define my goals and what I feel is my purpose in life by providing resources and mentors that can tap into the potential of each and every one of us.
We are very impressed with what Tiger is doing, and we believe that young people are not only our future, but also our future leaders. They're prepared kids, they're obviously ambitious, and those are the types of people I want to hire. Those are the future leaders of this country.
Education is important because it's the catalyst to success.
It represents stability for my family.
It's not a tangible like clothes or shoes. It's an investment in yourself.
Education has helped me realize what I can do to help others.
We're coming up on 20 years of the foundation. 131 Irwood scholars now are off to college. We've helped over 135,000 kids just in our learning centers alone. We need events like this to not only gain more awareness, but also the funds to be able to keep helping these kids. That's what it's all about. I mean, we're here to have fun, but we're here also to help others, and that's the most important thing.
Learn more about the Tiger Woods Foundation and the WPT's philanthropic efforts by logging on to WPTFoundation.org. It looks like action is starting back up, so I'll send it down to Mike and Vince.
Well, Vince, what a great night that was, Tigers Poker Night. Great charity for a great cause.
And right now we have 4 players battling for this championship. A quick fold by Carlos Mortensen. And Brian Yoon with a king 10.
He's on the button, but he opts to just limp in and call on the button with the king high. Asher with 2 sevens out of the small blind. He also just calls. Very surprising neither one of those guys raised with those hands.
And now the Russian, who's on the short stack with king 6, has gone all in.
Yeah, he's got the worst hand of the 3 by far, but he's moved in.
I call.
Yoon goes out, and Asher's going to make this call with 7s.
The Russian in dire straits here right now. Just over a 3-1 underdog to stay alive in this tournament.
Dead him to a child.
They're a little crazy over there, you know? Nothing I could do.
Alexander Lakoff came to this final table as the big chip leader. His tournament life on the line right now. Must get lucky to win this pot to stay alive.
And 9, 8, 6.
Alexander with 2 6s.
He has a pair now, though. That's the problem.
9 is good.
9 is good. Yeah, 9 is good.
Yeah, and 8 is the river.
That's a fair card.
It's okay.
9 and 8. Oh, I like where your head's at. I was wondering where he was going with the 9.
Alexander needs to catch a king or a 6, and he does it.
Oh! It's a good turn card, huh?
Okay.
Makes 3 6s on the turn. unbelievable draw out. But it's not over. Asher must now catch a 5, a 7, or a 10 to win this pot.
It's a 3 of hearts. And Alexander Lakov got a double up.
If you didn't limp, I call anyway.
Yeah, I know. I thought about that. When I saw that second 6, that's the first thing that went through my mind.
This episode of the World Poker Tour is sponsored in part by DraftKings. If you like poker and sports, then you're going to love daily fantasy sports at DraftKings. Go to DraftKings.com, enter promo code WPT, and start playing today.
We are back. It's the final tournament of the season, the WPT World Championship.
This casino is an incredible place to visit, and earlier this week, the Royal Flush Girls got to hang out in one of the suites here at Borgata, and it was spectacular.
I've stayed in those myself. They are first class all the way, as are all the rooms here. Just top-notch in my book. Speaking of top-notch, how about Asher Kniff? He's currently sitting at the top of the chip count.
6.4 million in chips. Let's go to the felt.
Action's on him.
And he looks down at a pair of aces. Everything going his way. He makes it 130 to go. Hoping to get some victims. First, Alexander with a king 3.
When you pick up those aces, you're saying, somebody please raise me, please raise me.
Yeah, Alexander out Carlos with a nothing hand. Will he get fancy? Nope. They all go away.
Finally called the one. Is that aces? Really? How good am I?
Well, there you see a little frustration. Even though you win the pot, you're always sick when you get no action with 2 aces.
Blinds at 30 and 60,000. Action on Carlos, 3-time WPT champion, going after his 4th title here tonight. He's got 8-5.
I played once.
And he'll raise to 125 to go.
Well, Brian Yoon with 2-3 just quickly throws him away. In position on the button. Asher going to make the call here. The queen 9 of diamonds, and
now Alexander's come over the top, all in with an ace-jack.
Both his opponents quickly fold.
Nice one.
Wow, the Russian who came to this table as the chip leader. His chips have dissolved, but taken down that pot. Right back at him on Brian Yoon from Los Angeles, a king 9. He's going to raise it to 135. Asher out. Alexander going out.
Carlos with king 6 of hearts. Going to make the call and look at a flop here.
Brian with king 9. The great Carlos with king 6. It's an ace 9 deuce.
Well, no help to Carlos. He checks. Brian's got middle pair with top kicker.
All right, they go check, check. 10 of spades on the turn.
And again, it goes check, check.
River Garden. Nothing happens there with the queen.
King high.
Well, they check it down. Brian going to win the pot with 2 9s.
Carlos can't seem to turn things around. He had a little momentum early on at the final table. You see Asher with 6.2 in chips. Brian Yoon now in second chip position with 2.8.
Carlos in 4th chip position at the moment.
All right, on to Asher. And he's got a junk hand, and he will fold it. Alexander.
And he's got the ace high on the button. Gonna make a button raise here. 125,000.
Carlos hoping to catch a card, and he does. He catches a pair of 10s.
All in.
Pop it up, over the top, all in. Brian out.
How much is it? 990.
And will he get the action from the Russian?
I wouldn't think so, Vince. We've seen him on the conservative side in this situation before.
Echo.
Wow, I am shocked he's making this call.
He's talking to himself.
Carlos is 70% favorite to win this pot, to double up here.
And there is his wife, Pastora, his sister, Sonia, in the audience. They've got to be excited at this moment. Alexander cannot look.
Well, Vince, he got all in a minute ago with king 6 against 2 7s and won that pot. This time it's ace 6. Again, he flops a pair of 6s, but again, he's way behind as Carlos has 2 10s. Well, could we see a duplicate scenario of what happened last time when he made 3 6s?
Going to the turn. Can the Russian hit? No, deuce of hearts.
We're down to the river. Anything but an ace or a 6. Carlos Mortensen doubles up.
They all seem happy. Can Carlos do it?
An ace on the river. The Matador gourd right there. Wow, what a brutal beat for Carlos Mortensen to get knocked out in 4th place.
Alexander, welcome to America. He is going to knock out Carlos, who's going to take home $267,000. The Matador. Let's see what he has to say with that awful beat.
Can I change my pampers? You always have a positive attitude. Does it hurt that you didn't win your 4th title tonight?
If I tell you the truth now, it's always gonna be another one, you know. And one of those times I'm gonna make it.
I believe that you will.
Yeah.
Congratulations again, Carlos.
Thank you, man.
Against you, I'm feeling like power. Now I feel like very bad myself. I don't know why. But
Right.
against you, I'm feeling like, okay, some flip.
I'm more fun to bet deep than Carlos, I think.
That does it for Carlos Mortensen's deep run at the WPT World Championship at Borgata. 3 players remain, but there is only 1 title. Watch them battle it out when we return.
Time to battle.
It's gonna be fun.
So we are 3 luckiest players here.
3 luckiest players in the casino, I think. I'm definitely one of them. I don't know about you guys. I'm there. This isn't even real.
There are 100,000 reasons to love ClubWPT.com. Because as a Club WPT VIP, you get the chance to win a share of $100,000 in cash and prizes every month.
ClubWPT.com. Never lose a dime playing poker, guaranteed.
Welcome back to Atlantic City. We are at Borgata for the WPT World Championship. 3 players remain.
Yeah, Asher Kniff still our chip leader, 6.1 million. Alexander Lokoff with about 3 million. Brian Yoon just under that chip count.
Okay, going back down to the felt. Blinds at 30 and 60,000. There's the star of the night so far, Asher Kniff from Brooklyn, New York. Action's on him. He has an ace deuce.
Yeah, I'm going to make a button raise here, 130,000 to go.
Alexander goes away, and now Brian Yoon from Los Angeles with a king jack. Seems to like it. Got to make this call. Here we go. Ace king 7 on the flop.
So kings for Brian, but the bad news, aces for Asher.
Brian quickly checking. Asher makes the continuation bet of 105,000.
Brian makes the call.
Going to the turn.
Unless 6 comes off. Yeah, Brian checks. Now surprised by that check by Asher. I would have bet the aces there. Thinking my opponent had kings or a possible straight or flush draw, but 4 at the river. Brian checks again, and now I feel certain that Asher will bet this time. Feeling pretty good about his aces now. And indeed, he does bet him. And a pretty good bet here, Vince. 320,000. Which sort of looks like a bluff. See if Brian will pick this up or not. And it is a good read by Brian. He lays down his kings. And Asher picks up yet another pot. They're all smiles, trying to figure out how much they can borrow if Asher wins this tournament.
All right, the blinds are going up to 40 and 80,000. Action on Alexander. He's been playing poker for 10 years. One of the great Russian players, has a WPT title under his belt already.
And he looks down at Queen 10 of diamonds, going to raise it up to 175,000.
Brian quickly calling with King Jack behind him. And now Asher with just a 9-7. Going to take a shot at a raise with a nothing hand.
540,000. He's trying to squeeze here, Vince. Thinking the button guy might have just made a button raise. The small blind didn't raise. He can't have much.
The Russian calls it.
Brian goes out. Leaves all that money out there, wants these two guys to clash.
Heads up.
I'm a little surprised he didn't make that call, Vince.
We have two-way action. It is a king nine deuce. Asher hits his nines. Inside straight draw for Alexander.
He's got the gut shot straight draw, but he's going to check.
Going to the turn. Wow, it's another king. Oh, Brian's upset. He would have had 3 kings.
Yeah, he's very dismal right now.
Asher with nines, going to check.
Wow, surprised he checked that hand. Remember, he 3-bet it before the flop, and now has checked the flop and the turn.
Alexander's going to bet $500,000 with nothing. Just guts.
Well, Vince, the guy's going to have 3 kings to beat you here.
Well, it's possible. But not according to Asher. He's going to stick around with the nines, going to the river. Deuce of spades pairs the board again.
Well, again, Asher checks.
Now Alexander.
Well, he is doing it, Vince.
Yeah, he's going to take a shot.
700,000 he's betting. In Vince and Asher's mind, he should know the guy's got a full house or nothing here. He's just going to check down 2 pair if he had it. Probably check down an ace high as well.
He's going to make the excellent call.
Excellent read by Asher here.
Good call.
He figured it out perfectly. Called the Russian down, and Alexander's chip stack goes down.
I just can't blame him for trying, though. Alexander showing another level.
Poker giving me some satisfaction, giving me power, giving me freedom, because I'm getting some money from poker and I can travel and do everything. Actually, Russia is big. It's not like an unusual situation that a lot of Russians are really good players. I think we have a lot of weak players as well, but nobody knows them.
Well, we don't see too many weak players out on the tour. There's one of the strong Russian players, Renat Bogdanov. He won the season 10 WPT Venice event. Here tonight, rooting his buddy on.
Russia has more than just great ballerinas and tennis players. They've got poker players, international stars, and Alexander could become one of the big ones tonight if he takes down his second WPT title. Back to the action we go on Brian.
Vince, I can tell you, for the small numbers that Russians enter in these tournaments, their results are outstanding.
All right, Brian is raised to 165. Asher takes a break. Alexander now.
I'm all in.
He is going all in with an ace-8, Mike.
Yeah, tough decision for Brian now, but he makes a quick call. He's about $1.50 underdog. 3-2 dog here. Needs to get lucky to eliminate the Russian. See if he can do it.
Alexander came in there as the chip leader. He's down to his short stack. Can his hand hold up? Here's the flop. He gets an ace.
Brian's going to have to hit 2 runners to win this pot.
I got 14 outs. How can I miss?
14 out step. Out.
Brian staying positive.
Well, that's 14 outs just to have a draw to win.
Ship it, baby.
There you go, Alexander.
How much was that exactly?
They have cats in Russia, Vince? He's got a lot of lives.
No. Nice hand.
I think they do have cats in Russia. Yeah.
Check it out, you guys. We can watch all the past episodes on ClubWPT.com to see what we did all season. Check this out. We're at the Best Bet Bounty Scramble in Jacksonville.
Such good sushi, and then we went cruising at the Audubon Speedway with Kevin. Oh, and remember the last time we were at the Borgata? We played the bounty tournament with Edward.
Nice to meet you.
Ivy.
Nice to meet you. I'm Tuba. Nice
Edward.
to meet you.
Oh, he was so cute.
Oh, and look, here we are in Bay 101 playing basketball with Mike and Vin.
That looks so fun.
How cool is it to be able to watch all the shows on ClubWPT.com?
Yeah.
You know what we should watch? The championship.
Yeah.
Yeah, that click down memory lane was brought to you by ClubWPT.com. Watch past episodes, play risk-free poker, and compete to win a share of $100,000 of cash and prizes every month. Play Play on ClubWPT.com and never lose a dime playing poker, guaranteed.
Oh, Vince, I'm still sore from that basketball game. All right, 3 guys left. Asher Kniff well out in front with over $8.4 million. The winner tonight taking home nearly $1 million.
What's your biggest live score?
660. I have to win to get it. I have to win to get a new best score, basically.
6,000?
660, yeah.
You?
205.
Like, so you already got it. You already got it. Sick.
For sure. 205 was last week.
Oh, nice.
Life's just not real.
Action's going to Brian Yoon. He quickly folds. Asher now with Queen Jack will raise to 210.
Okay, let's dance.
And the Russian makes the call with an ace-3. And here is the flop. It's a King Jack 8. So Jack's for Asher.
Well, he checks. I'm surprised he checks that, but just wants to keep the pot small until he realizes the jacks are good, which he does now after his opponent checked.
7 of spades on the turn.
Now he's going to bet the jacks.
220, and it's going to work. The Russian has to walk away. And there's Asher's New York friends.
And they come down to support him tonight. And so far, so good for the youngster from New York.
Tony Dunst is never afraid to speak his mind, and he's standing by in the control room now to do just that. It's the WPT World Championship edition of The Raw Deal.
I'm sure you've heard the old adage, I'd rather be lucky than good. And while that's generally true, the results on the WPT